Hello folks, this is Shepherd of Peace, formerly known OK City Kid. This video is going to be called Climate Change. It's not going to be your typical video about global warming. I'm going to tell you the truth. They didn't completely lie to us. They partially told us the truth, as I will show you. What they've done was they've mixed a truth with a lie. And I'm not sure that this wasn't, I don't really know why they did this, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing that this was done by accident. Global warming took off, so they just ran with it. Now the theory of global warming isn't a false theory, it isn't a wrong theory, it's very sound. I'm very familiar with it, I studied it in school. If you track CO2 thousands and thousands of years back, you'll see that the temperatures align with the level of CO2 all the way back thousands and thousands of years. So the theory is sound. Also, CO2 locks in the heat from the sun as it comes through the atmosphere. It comes through, but it can't come back out. That's why they call it the greenhouse effect. This theory is very accurate as well. And this has caused some warming. And it would continue to cause warming, except there's something else that I believe they accidentally didn't consider, though there were those who were in the know, but scientists and media, well, they don't always work together, so it just never got out. And a few who have tried to explain this to people have been discredited and so forth. Just as global warming was discredited in the beginning as well. But CO2 levels are higher than they should be, and this is a serious problem, a problem we should address, regardless of whether it's going to cause global warming. And I'm going to explain this at the very end of the video as well. So, let's get going. Raise your hand if you've seen that movie. I mean, look how cold it is. The Statue of Liberty is all froze up. The whole city of New York is frozen. Sure doesn't look like global warming to me. Now, if you pay attention, the media always tells us the truth in some sort of hidden way. If you pay a lot of attention to this, and a lot of video bloggers have demonstrated this as well with various different topics. So here they actually did tell us the truth. It's going to get cold, and it's going to happen quickly. But it's not going to quite get that cold that quickly. But it is going to happen, and it's already happening. I got this in the mail, and I got this from World Vision. I haven't opened it yet, but it says it's 20 below zero, ice is everywhere, there's a foot of snow, and that's inside. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, but I've been avoiding it. But seeing that I got that in the mail, it reminded me I need to do this. Last year, an icebreaker got caught in the ice. You might have heard that in the news. The Great Lakes froze up. We discovered we were able to enter caverns that we wasn't able to enter before because it had frozen up. So it was colder last year, and this year it's expected to get even colder still. So it's already started. Well, I put off this video for a bit, and I'm coming back to it. It has been confirmed that it's going to be colder this year than it has been. We're going to break a lot of records. Also, you probably heard terms like polar vortex, which is a new term. We've heard that this year and last year. And also, they don't mention global warming anymore. They just call it climate change. I first heard about this about 10 years ago. There was 2 articles I had read, and unfortunately I can't find them anymore. They've taken them down. But one of them was about a scientist, and I can't remember what country, but he had discovered that the sun goes through these cycles, and that a mini ice age, or it's sometimes called little ice age, is coming again. And he predicted it would be around 2012. He didn't have an exact date, just somewhere around 2012 is when it would start. And it would start getting colder again, because the sun would go silent. And then the article went on to say, oh yes, scientists in America have already known this. And I'm thinking, if they already known this, why didn't we know this? I mean, certainly we should be preparing for this. And if you do a search for a little ice age or mini ice age, you'll find some articles. A couple recent articles I've read indicated that global warming and the mini ice age will counteract each other, and it'll pretty much level out. But there's some disagreement on that as well. This one article here that I will quote to you, and I'll put a link in the bottom so that you can read the whole article if you like. It seems that the sun's quiescence, I don't know if I pronounced that right, was responsible for the most extreme phases of the little ice age, implying that solar variability sometimes plays a significant role in climate change. A change in solar activity may also, for example, have contributed to the post-little ice age rise in global temperatures in the first half of the 20th century. However, solar variability alone cannot explain the post-1970 global temperature trends, specifically the global temperature rise in the last 3 decades of the 20th century, which has been attributed to the Inter-Governmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, to increase concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So in other words, what that's saying is though it's getting colder now and it's going to get colder, that does not mean that the IPCC is incorrect in its assumption that greenhouse gases will cause it to be warmer. Also, there's a gentleman, his name is Ben Davidson. He puts out videos every week. I've shared a few of them on my Google Plus, so you may have seen them if you follow me. He's sort of taken this on. This is his project. He's been watching this very closely. He's also put out a movie that's got all kinds of graphs and stuff, where he shows this and explains it very, very well, and much better than I could. And so I will definitely put a link to his video on here, and you might want to check him out. And you might also want to check out his daily videos. It's really good. It's a different kind of weather, and it shows the weather for the entire globe. So it's pretty good videos. The sun goes through 11-year cycles. Every 11 years, the sun activity will go up, and we'll get a real warm period, and then it'll go down, and we'll have a cool period, and we'll go back up, and we'll have a warm period. So you'll notice, I'm sure you've noticed, that every so many years it gets really hot, and so many years it cools down. This is the normal cycle of the sun. I had previously prepared a graph for you to show you what's coming, but it somehow got deleted. But I downloaded another one, and I prepared it for you. Here it is. Now, as in nature, nature always has cycles. If it happened once before, it'll happen once again. This here is a graph that we've gone back 400 years, and there was another one, and I wish I could find it, but it goes further back, and it shows that there's a spike. And you know that we've had a spike a while back. It's called the meander minimum, and it starts here at 1675, and it ends at 1700. And this is a period of time where there's no sunspot activity. The sun is completely silent. And this is where the mini ice age or little ice age occurred. And actually, if you look that up, you'll hear a story about there was a summer where well, there was a summer where summer never came. There was a volcano during this period of time, so this plus the volcano caused there to be no winter. Lasted all year long that year, and there was quite a bit of starvation around the world, and that's where we learned about potatoes, because potatoes could last throughout the year. But it's due to occur again. You know, we've had our spike. It's going down. It's starting to slow down, and it will last for about 50 years, and then it'll start warming up again. And so this is what's going on there. Now this graph here shows the CO2 levels and the temperature. Now the black line is the CO2 levels. As you see, it's going further and further and further up, and the red lines is the temperature. Now Ben Davidson had a much better graph than this, and I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. It goes further back, and it goes more recently. This just goes to 2010. He has one that I believe it goes to 2014 or 2013 maybe, but real close. But you can see in his graph that the oxygen that the CO2 level is pretty much level with the temperatures until you get to one certain period, and you can see it here, 2007, where it differentiates. The CO2 level continues to go up, but the temperatures, however, don't change. And as a matter of fact, the graph he will show you, temperatures actually start to drop, showing that the CO2 level isn't affecting the temperature. But, and he'll explain that the Earth has made adjustments. But that doesn't mean that on the other side of this, that the temperatures won't start rising again because of the CO2 level. So that's what we have to watch for. So it's going to get a lot cooler, not warmer. So it's global cooling, not global warming. But still, climate change is coming, and we need to prepare for it. And it'll last for about 50 years. And there's two reasons why we need to lower the CO2 rate anyways, even though right now it has nothing to do with the current climate change. One is because when we get to the other side of this thing, if we haven't cleaned up our CO2, then the Earth is going to start warming up again. And then we will, in fact, be experiencing global warming at that time. We may not, but our grandchildren or our children may be there. So we want to take care of that. And there's another reason, that when CO2 levels go up, oxygen levels go down. And when oxygen levels go down, we start to have a serious problem in our world. One, you'll have more stickers and thorns, and insects. They seem to like CO2 as well. You go outside, you get bothered by mosquitoes, and you plant a garden now, and you have to do something or the bugs will eat the garden up. I mean, there just isn't any way around it now. In September of 1991, there was a project called Biosphere 2. And there, a group of people lived in this glass dome, or attempted to live in this glass dome, completely completely self-contained. There were plants in there, there was water in there, the water was circulated, cleaned, that kind of thing, just like it would be in nature. But something strange started happening. This was supposed to go on for, I believe, 2 years. But something strange started to happen, and they started to lose oxygen. And they discovered, and they had to pump oxygen in there for these people to live, because they started getting really crazy. And they learned that people became paranoid, and they refused to work together and stuff like this because of the lack of oxygen. And they discovered later that this was caused by the cement. It hadn't cured completely, and that was sucking the oxygen out of the air. But I was a part of an online discussion once where we were talking about how things have changed, and someone had mentioned that people are much more paranoid today than they used to be, and I told them it's because of a lack of oxygen, and everyone laughed. They thought I was telling a joke, but honestly, that's what's going on here. As always, I will include links to everything, but this is what happens when the oxygen level goes down. And of course, these are severe. I mean, this ain't going on right now, but you can kind of see we're going into this. But let me read this. Symptoms of delirium include a confused state of mind accompanied by poor attention, impaired recent memory, irritability, inappropriate behavior, vulgar language, history of such psychotic fostering illusions, delusions, hallucinations, paranoia. In other cases, the patient may simply appear to be withdrawn, apathetic. Still other cases, the patient may become agitated and restless, unable to remain in bed, and feel a strong need to pace the floor. So, yeah, the world can go a little crazy if it isn't already. I mean, I think about ISIS and what's going on, and how is it that they can possibly recruit people to murder and rape? I mean, that just seems absurd to me. It really, it's disappointing. But yeah, honestly, I believe a lot of that has to do with the high CO2 level and the lower oxygen level. And if this continues, we're probably going to see our world get a lot worse. So that's another reason why we got to fix this problem. And that's about it. And I hope I never have to make another video like this, because this is really depressing. I would like to make videos that are happy things. So help me make happy videos, and let's clean up the CO2 problem. Thanks for listening to me, being patient with me, and if again, Ben Davidson can explain this a whole lot better than I can, so check his video out for more information if you want to. Peace and love. Bye.